Welcome back. FBI Director Kash Patel is claiming there's an increase of terrorists entering the United States from Canada.
Since becoming director, there's been a sharp decrease of border crossings for known or suspected terrorists from the southern border. But unfortunately, there has been a sharp increase of known or suspected terrorists entering through our northern border. And so what I'm trying to do is work with our northern border states and our interagency to tackle that problem. Other than what you outlined.
Patel was testifying during a U.S. House Oversight Committee hearing Wednesday when he was asked about the risk of terrorism at the borders. CTV News has reached out to the FBI to confirm Patel's comments. In an emailed statement, the FBI tells us it has nothing to add to the director's congressional testimony. Now, what comes is there are reports that there's been a surge in migrants crossing the border into Canada from New York. For more on all of this, let's bring CTV's Kamil Karamali on it. Kamil, first of all, break down some of these numbers too. We're going to focus on the migrants to start from the CBSA report on where asylum seekers are trying to enter the country.
Yeah, that's right, and that is between the state of New York and Quebec, more specifically the St. Bernard-de-l'École border that is just south of Montreal. And the numbers might shock you. If 5,500 asylum seekers since the beginning of July, and that is a 263% increase from the same time last year at that location. That's according to Canada Border Services Agency. And the St. Bernard-de-l'École crossing, you may have heard of it before because it's emerged as a main gateway for northbound migration, but rarely or if ever have we seen numbers that high. It's got a wooded trail, and in the past, migrants would cross the border. But the rule changes in 2023 have now made it more difficult for people who enter Canada to stay. But across Canada, the number of asylum seekers and claims at land border crossings has jumped up 30% for the first half of the year. So once again, that is across Canada and land border crossings specifically jumping up 30% in the first half of the year. Although CBSA also says overall number of claims have declined because we are seeing fewer asylum seekers at airports. Now, obviously, all of this coming as the U.S. and the Trump administration is ramping up its immigration policies in terms of really rolling back protections for those who have temporary legal status in the United States. We know that they've brought in the National Guard in places like L.A. As well as Memphis, and so this having a ripple effect as more people in the United States are heading towards Canada.
So we hear the director of the FBI saying that there's been a sharp increase of known or suspected terrorists entering the U.S. from Canada, that the numbers have decreased on the Mexican border. Are they related at all? Do we know why at this point some of this rhetoric and where it's coming from? Yeah, that's right. And what we do know, Matt, is that what the American agencies are saying is that there could be an overlap in terms of repeat offenders trying to cross both borders at different times. So what FBI Director Kash Patel said in his words that there's been a sharp increase of known or suspected terrorists, but he wouldn't go too much more into detail from that. Earlier in the hearing, he did say the enemy has adapted and that we need more focus on the northern border to keep known or suspected terrorists from crossing. You mentioned it off the top, though. When we reached out to the FBI, they did not give us any more detail related to what Mr. Patel was referring to. But according to U.S. Customs data, there were more than 259 specifically encounters with people who had terrorism-related records trying to cross by land from Canada to start the fiscal year to July of 2025. So 259. By contrast, there were nearly 2,000 such encounters logged at the southern land border with Mexico, Matt. So just being able to compare and contrast, the Mexican border seeing a higher number of people trying to cross with terrorism-related charges. Okay, CTV's Kamil Karamali reporting live for us this morning. Thanks, Kamil.
You're welcome, Matt.